Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you guys about Ascension flu. What is it, and are you experiencing it? So the last couple of days I've had like a runny nose and I just felt chills all over my body for a little bit, but I knew that I wasn't, at first I thought, I'm getting sick. And then of course everyone's worried about COVID. So of course that worried me at first too. But then I thought, no, I don't think that this is what this is. So I took airborne and then I got some rest and I hydrated myself and then I did an energy cleanse and I felt better the next day. So whatever it was just like it lasted a few hours. So I knew it was not anything related to what's going on with the pandemic. So I started thinking about it. I was like, that was really weird. It only lasted a couple of hours. And then I got on Facebook and one of the people that I follow was like, are you guys experiencing Ascension flu? And I thought, oh my gosh, that must have been what it was because it didn't last long and it didn't have like the normal symptoms of somebody who's sick with a cold or flu. I didn't feel terrible the whole time. So it made me think, I wonder if we're all collectively going through this shift and experiencing Ascension flu. So I thought I would talk to you today about what it is. You're probably experiencing it. And if you're not, it's no big deal. It doesn't mean you're not ascending. And how we can cope with it. So we are on this path where our energy is shifting from the 3D, where our bodies are of a lower frequency, and we are shifting from carbon-based bodies to crystalline light bodies. So the bodies that we are in right now are of a lower frequency. And we are shifting to a higher frequency. You can sort of think of it like if you upgrade your computer. So let's say that you have a processor and it's getting slower and slower, and you want to be able to do things faster. You have to upgrade your computer. You have to get a new processor, one that's faster, and you don't have to buy a completely new computer. You can upgrade the one that you have by updating some of the hardware that's inside. And in the same way, that's what we're doing. We're not totally getting rid of our bodies. We're just shifting to a different frequency where we'll be able to communicate telepathically and where we will be able to connect more psychically to others. And so because all of that is happening, it's causing some effects on our actual physical body. And some people might say, well, I'm not experiencing Ascension flu. Does that mean I'm not ascending? No, it doesn't. It's just that we all are experiencing this differently. And you may be going through it at a different time. So, what you experience right now, someone else may be experiencing in 6 months. We don't raise our frequency as a group. We're doing it individually. So ascension, it's usually gradual, but sometimes there are some of us who go through it and it hits us like a ton of bricks, because when we go through ascension, we are basically kind of killing our ego. We are realizing that our egos have to die. And so for some of us, we go through physical changes in our lives. We may realize that we start disliking daily news and we disengage from the media because, it's just too upsetting and it's too much. We might feel like we're on an emotional roller coaster. We have sudden waves of emotions. We have inexplicable depression, and it's usually associated with the material world. We may feel bored or dissatisfied with our current jobs. We may want to leave our stressful or even very lucrative jobs. We may be dissatisfied with just having enough and become disinterested in the material things. We may have a calling to work in a spiritual discipline like healing or being a life coach or doing something creative. We may want to be of service to others, to feel like we are more connected to others. We may want to end up having more clarity and simplicity in life, so you may feel like you need to go through and declutter everything because you want life to be more simple for you. We want more natural procedures, so that means that many of us will turn to things like holistic medicine. We will turn to food to heal us, or we turn to yoga and meditation. We might move away from lifelong friendships or any associations with people who are holding us back spiritually, because we realize that we have to ascend, and that if these people aren't willing to ascend, that maybe they can't come with us. Some people feel like maybe they've been hit by a universal 2x4 that really shakes them at their core and forces them to go through a traumatic life change, which you've heard me refer to as like the tower moment. And so that happens again to put you on this path to ascension and to awakening. But also our bodies are trying to adapt to the changes. So you may develop these ascension flu-like symptoms, and they can come out of nowhere with no obvious reason. You know, everyone around you may be healthy, and then all of a sudden you start getting sick and you're like, what is going on? So what are some of the ascension flu symptoms? So you can experience chills. So like when your body temperature rises suddenly or falls suddenly, you get those chills. You may have memory lapses. So you may feel like you're so scattered you can't remember what you were going to do, or when in the middle of talking about something you may not be able to, you feel like you can't get your words. You may experience change in sleep. So you may need more sleep, or you may need less sleep, or you may wake up at odd hours. You may have really vivid and creative dreams. You may wake up with night sweats or hot flashes or restlessness. And this is interesting because this makes me think that I maybe had this several years ago, because there was a period of time about a year ago, I kept waking up like completely sweating, drenched, and I thought, oh great, I'm having hot flashes, I'm getting old, I'm going through the change, whatever. And then I talked to my doctor and she's like, well, you shouldn't really be having those yet. So that was probably part of the ascension flu, and I just didn't even realize it. You might experience a change in your eating habits. So you may feel like you have a loss of appetite, or you may feel like you're hungry all the time. Your food taste may change. You may suddenly experience intolerances to certain foods. You may develop rashes suddenly or get sudden weight changes. You may have muscle aches, and you can't really explain why. And here's another one that I just realized I've experienced a lot, which are muscle twitches. So my lip and my eye will sometimes just start twitching for no reason at all. And it's really weird. Like I can feel the muscle in my eye like twitching, or in my lip. And I think you could actually see it, because I've had people like, what is going on? Like they're probably thinking I'm having a stroke or something, and it's not. It has to do with this ascension flu. You may experience dizziness. So if you experience vertigo or have a loss of balance, you may get migraines and headaches. You may experience sinus issues, which who doesn't? Neck or back pain. I always get a pain, and when I know I need to do an energy clearing, I get a pain in it's my left, right behind my shoulder blade, like up high, but behind my shoulder blade. And I always get this pain right in this one spot. And then as soon as I have somebody do Reiki on me, or I do it on myself, it goes away. It's just very strange. And then you may have changes in your vision, so blurred vision, or you see things out of the corner of your eye, which I get that I see sparkles of light out of the corner of my eye sometimes. I also feel a lot of pressure in my skull, like at the top of my head, like my crown chakra. I can feel a pressure in that area, or you may feel in your third eye pressure, because we are awakening, so those chakras are being activated, so you may be feeling that pressure there. You may hear like a ringing in one or both ears, or be more sensitive to sound. And I get the ringing in my ears a lot. You may also feel like tingling, like electricity in your hands and body or your limbs. You may just feel that going through you. You may also feel extreme fatigue after you have a sudden burst of energy. And then joint aches. We can suddenly get aches and pains and stiffness in our joints. And you may just experience an overall, your health seeming to feel like it's getting worse. So those are all some of the symptoms, and you may be like, oh, great. But here's the deal. When we know that this is what we're going through, there are things we can do to actually ease through this with more grace. We don't have to just go to bed and be like, I feel like crap and I'm never waking up again. We can do some things to help our bodies move through this, because what we realize now is that this is our body's way of shifting from a lower vibrational frequency to a higher vibrational frequency. And if we're going to move to these crystalline bodies, we're going to experience some of this. You know how they used to call it growing pains when you were a kid, and you would just get these aches in your legs and you're like, I don't understand why I have them. And the doctors always said, those are growing pains. Well, it's kind of the same thing. We're shifting and growing into this new dimension. So we have to prepare our physical bodies for shifting into this higher frequency. And so you're going to experience some of these things, and that's okay. And the main thing is, and what you should be grateful for, is to know you're not going crazy, that this happens, and it happens to a lot of people. And you should also realize that if you're not experiencing this, it does not mean that you are not ascending, okay? Like I said, everyone experiences this in a different way, and there is no right or wrong. I hate when people say, like, you have to do things a certain way. It's whatever works for you. And I will give you some tips for how you can deal with the symptoms that you may be feeling, but you don't have to take on the fact that, oh, I have to feel like crap all the time. You don't. For me, when I get this flu-like Ascension flu, it doesn't last that long, because when I realize what it is, if I do like meditations and do energy clearings and ground myself by sitting in a salt bath and taking care of my physical body as well, I usually feel much better pretty quickly. So there are some things that we can do, and Reiki is a great way to get through this Ascension flu, these symptoms, because it helps a lot. Whenever I do Reiki on other people or on myself, you can immediately feel better. And I do Reiki on myself when I get the headaches, because for me, I experience a lot of things through my sinuses. And so my whole sinus area, I get the drainage and then the cough because of the drainage. And then it just feels like pressure, and it feels pressure in my head and in the front of my head. And I get like the headache at the top. And so what I do is I just do Reiki on myself and focus on my head area, and I always feel better. And another thing, and this is funny because it's actually something that my ex-husband used to always do, and my children will come to me and say, can you do this on me? But there are pressure points in your face too. So you can take your 2 fingers, and on the sides of your nose, if you feel the bone where it's connecting your eye socket there and your nose, you can place your fingers there and put the pressure there. And that relieves some pressure too, because you have some pressure points there, like under your eye and then on the side of your nose. And that's what I do with my kids too when they have sinus issues. I just massage under their eye and then on the side of their nose. And my son always comes in and he's like, Mom, can you please massage my face? Because he's feeling a headache and then the sinus stuff. And I mean, as soon as I do that for him, all of the sinus stuff just like drains out, and it like loosens all of that up. So the pressure point thing, you can do pressure point work too. That really does a lot of stuff too. I'm only aware of the ones in the face. I know there are others, but you can look up pressure points and how you can use the pressure points to help you healing pain, because it does work. I know that one is a great one that works really well. So you can try that if you're dealing with your sinuses. But what are some other things that you can do in order to get through this ascension process? How do you cope with the feeling of having ascension flu? So first thing I would say do is to do a quick energy clearing meditation. And I have one on my YouTube channel, but you can go to YouTube and just look up energy clearing meditation. There are so many, and they have ones that are like an hour long, or they have one that's like 10 minutes long. Just do the one that resonates for you. And just sit and do a quick meditation, because a lot of times what is happening is our energy is shifting so that there are places in our body where I think the energy is kind of getting stuck. So we need to clear it. So do an energy clearing. You might want to do a chakra clearing. And again, Reiki is amazing for helping to get through the flu symptoms because you can feel it working immediately. Another thing that you need to do is to make sure that you are grounded, because part of this whole Ascension flu is this feeling like our energy is all over the place and feeling very scattered. And for me, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was still experiencing the symptoms, and I recorded an entire podcast on a completely different topic. It did not even save. I went to do something, it deleted the whole thing, but I was really struggling when I was doing the podcast to get my words out. And I still feel a little bit today like I am, but not as bad. And then when it deleted, I was like, all right, I was mad at first. And then I thought, no, that's the universe's way of telling me that podcast sucked and I need to just move on. So I decided that I was going to do a different episode. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this Ascension flu because I think that's why I was having trouble getting my words out. I was feeling like it was hard for me to say what I wanted to say because I couldn't think clearly because I had a headache yesterday morning when I woke up. And so again, one of the things I did was a quick energy clearing, quick meditation. This morning I got up and I worked out. So moving your body really helps too. So do a workout, do some yoga because that's really good and it helps you. When we move our bodies, it's like we move the toxicities and all of that through our bodies. So working out really helps, and you don't have to work out vigorously. I was doing some Zumba because I like to dance and that's a lot of fun. And then I did a little toning, but you can do anything you want. If you find yoga to be very relaxing, do some yoga. Just moving your body is going to be enough to really get everything flowing. And make sure you're drinking water. Drink lots of water during this Ascension because, again, if the toxicities are moving through our body, we need to help it along a little by flushing it out. And I truly believe that drinking a lot of water helps to get that through your system faster. And I know, like when my mom was going through chemo, they kept telling her, drink water, drink water, drink water, because the more water she would drink, the faster it would move that chemo through her body and get it out, and she would feel better once it was moved out. So in the same way, you're moving that toxic energy out, the lower vibrational energies out, so drinking that water is going to help. I also believe it's important to ground yourself to Mother Earth, which you can do in a couple of ways. You can walk outside barefoot and just put your feet in the grass. And I know that some of us are in places where it's getting cold, but walking outside for just 1 minute to put your feet in the grass is not going to hurt you. You can literally hug a tree. You can hold on to some crystals that are grounding. I know black tourmaline is a good one, and clear quartz too is also good because it removes some of the toxic energies there and it clears your energies. So hold on to crystals for a little bit. Some people even like to lay down and put the crystals on certain chakras, like on your third eye chakra or wherever. I say go for it. You know, I think that you should do whatever works for you, but these are just some things that I have done and then I know people have done that have helped them. And if you come up with other things that help, that's great. Whatever works for you. But using crystals is another way. And sometimes just doing a quick little meditation where you close your eyes and you imagine a beautiful golden light from above. That's God's light coming down through your entire body, clearing you of all of that negative energy. And then that light comes out through the bottoms of your feet and into Mother Earth, where it grounds you with Mother Earth and turns all of that toxic energy into loving, healing energy that then moves up through the bottoms of your feet and goes all the way up through the top of your head and into the realms above, so that you are a channel of love and light. And it's removing, again, some of the toxicity. But I have some guided meditations on my YouTube channel if you want to go check those out. That would be super helpful for you. You also might want to do a tapping, because some of the things that the Ascension flu brings about is those emotional roller coasters. It might be uncovering some triggers, some things that you still need to work through. And it did for me. It did. I worked with my dear friend Sue. She's such an amazing person, and she did some hypnotherapy with me, and I'm going to have her on my show. I'm so excited to have her, where she talks about what she did. And we did a session the other night, and it was so awesome because we uncovered a lot of stuff and healed a lot of stuff. But then later, and I really feel like maybe this is why I went through the Ascension flu after that, because I think I was uncovering so much stuff and then ascending more. It brought up another trigger for me that when I was out with my sister and my brother-in-law and we were having a conversation, I was like, I just need to get this off my chest. I'm so angry. And I started talking to them about, the feelings of anger I still have from my marriage and my ex and everything that has happened with him. And that came up and we were talking about that. And they were like, wow, it's understandable that you're still feeling this way and you have every right. And it's like, I just needed to get that off my chest. And then I felt so much better. And I felt like it was kind of uncovering the different layers of the emotions that are still raw and still there and still need to be healed. And I would highly recommend doing this sort of healing because it was awesome. It was so great. And like I said, she's going to be on my show again. But it's sort of the same thing we do whenever I do like a coaching session with someone or I do a past life regression. We sort of get into the layers of what happened, what's going on. But she goes even farther into it, and it was really cool. And so I think if you realize you're getting all of these emotions coming up that might be triggering things you need to heal, that's a part of it. And that might be also why you're experiencing these symptoms, because you are, in effect, getting rid of what isn't serving you so that you can ascend higher. One thing I really want you to know is that you will get through this. You're not crazy and it's all going to be okay. You've just got to have patience with yourself and be gentle with yourself because it is a process. It is a process. But sometimes it's telling us too that maybe we still have things we're holding on to that aren't working for us and aren't serving us, whether it's people or situations or habits that we're still needing to let go of so that we can rise above and we can ascend to the next level. So I can tell you to do all of these things, but until you let go of the stuff you need to let go of, you're going to continue to experience these symptoms because your body is trying so hard to ascend, and you can't do it if you're holding on to things that maybe we should be letting go of. So that's another thing to think about, doing the work, forgiving people we need to forgive, and letting go of situations that maybe didn't go our way. Just let it all go. Let the anger, the resentment, all of those feelings go. Acknowledging that we have them and forgiving the person that we need to forgive, and then letting it go because it's not serving us. We can't take it with us. It's not going to help us in this next part of our journey. So let it go. And, another thing you can do is make sure you're being gentle with yourself. Take a hot salt bath and diffuse some really nice essential oils. doTERRA is getting ready, I think, to have the buy one, get one free for the holidays. So you can check out, I have a website, a Facebook page, doTERRA also. You can check that out if you want to check out the buy one, get one free deals because those essential oils really do help. I love using Breathe whenever I'm having the sinus stuff going on too. And I tell you what, I have to wear a mask every day to work, and I put a little bit of peppermint oil in my mask and a little bit of Breathe. And not only, because mask breath is awful, and I realize after having a whole cup of coffee and then wearing my mask that my breath is terrible and I can't go brush my teeth. So having the essential oil in the mask really helps because it smells good, but it also opens up my sinuses when I put Breathe in there. So just an idea. And if you're battling with depression and feelings like that, put a little lavender essential oil in your mask. Breathing that lavender in, lavender is very calming and it helps with that. There are other essential oils that you can try too, but really take care of yourself. Do things that make you happy, that make you feel good. Be gentle with yourself. Make sure that you're nourishing yourself. So maybe during this time, it might be a good idea to do a quick little detox. So you might want to make, especially if you're not feeling good and you're feeling flu-like symptoms, make a detox soup. There are recipes on Pinterest that are super easy, but you can make a soup. It's like you use a vegetable stock or a chicken stock and you add carrots and celery and onions and cabbage. And one calls for lentils. There's so many different recipes. It's really easy and you just add these things in. And so it's helping you to detox your body. And soup, I don't know about you, but soup always makes me feel good whenever I'm sick, because that's always what my mom would make, of like, I'm going to make you some soup, you feel better. So do things to take care of yourself. Drink some teas, and there are also some detoxing teas out there too that you can try. Just look up there's so many things out there. Look it up on Pinterest. They have great recipes. And, just be gentle with yourself, really. Everything is going to be okay and everything is going to work out. And call on your angels and your team to just say, please help me through these Ascension symptoms. Please help them to move quickly and to help my body feel better. And again, an energy detox, that's one of the best ways. So get some Reiki for yourself because you deserve to feel better. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pull a card for you today, and the card I pulled is from my deck, Divine Whispers, and it's Let Go of Addictive Behavior. Addiction is playing a role in your life right now. Addiction takes many forms. Most people associate it with being addicted to drugs or alcohol. However, you can be addicted to ice cream, procrastinating, or even coffee. Addictions are a form of codependent behavior. We rely on something or someone else to make us feel better about ourselves, when in reality, we should be relying on ourselves to feel better. What addictions are taking over in your life right now? Take a look at your life and see what codependent behaviors you might be displaying. Do meditations and tappings to help increase your feelings of self-love and self-worth. If you really have a deep problem with codependency, then seek professional help. There is no shame in getting better. You will come out on the other side of this even better than you were before. There are a few mantras that go with this card that you can say to yourself. The first one is, this situation is only temporary. That mantra lets us know that we still have control and power. The situations that happen to us in our lives that we can't control are only temporary. The second one is, I have the power to take back my power at any time. I take things day by day. I am letting go of behaviors that aren't serving me. I am healing. I am loving myself. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave me a positive review from wherever you're listening. You can leave me some stars on iTunes. I would so appreciate it. Or you can share this podcast with anyone you think might need it. Also, if you want to work with me, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. There you will find a list of services I offer, and you can purchase a service from the website. And when you're ready to schedule, simply contact me and we will schedule your session. All of my sessions are done through Zoom, so you never have to leave the comfort of your own home. Follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central, where I do a free card reading on Facebook, and I will pull a card for you if you show up for the live. I post videos to Instagram, and I have free guided meditations and tappings on YouTube. Also, my book, Beautifully Broken, is still available. It's available on Amazon, Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, and it's available on an audiobook version too. It will make a great Christmas present if you'd like to buy it for someone in your life that you know might need it. So don't forget to go and get your own personal copy. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.